Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. All over the media, all over the football news in the last couple of weeks is who should the Green Bay Packers trade Aaron Rodgers to? I don't understand it. I don't buy it for 1 second. And Ian Rapoport said this a few days ago on the Pat McAfee show. My educated guess is if Aaron Rodgers wants to be back in Green Bay, I think there's a very good chance he's back in Green Bay. Now, if you're a Packers fan, you understand this. I think Aaron truly loves the Green Bay Packers. I think he loves Green Bay. I think he loves this franchise. And I think he wants to do right by him. And I think the same thing applies for the Packers when looking at Aaron Rodgers. I've seen so many reports, so many people are trying to tell me, oh yeah, the Packers want to trade Aaron Rodgers. It's like, well, where is this coming from? Oh, the Packers said it. I must have missed that because when did the Green Bay Packers say, yeah, we're trading Aaron Rodgers? Now, I get it. Financially, it's not the most feasible thing. Aaron Rodgers is a pricey player. But for a guy, a Hall of Famer, one of the best QBs of all time, one of the best Packer QBs, undisputably, I don't understand why I would be in a rush to get rid of him. Now, I will say, I think Jordan Love is going to be a very talented football player. I really do. And if Rodgers comes back and Jordan Love isn't the starter for the 4th straight season, I wouldn't be surprised if he were to request a trade. To be honest with you, I don't think he would. But regardless, I do think 100%, maybe 99.9%, Aaron Rodgers will be back with the Green Bay Packers next year, and I think it's in both sides' interest. So before we get into it, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button, hit that sub button. I post a ton of NFL videos all the time. I'm definitely going to be covering my favorite football team, the Green Bay Packers, all summer, all spring, all season long, so stay tuned. Let's try and get this video to 250 likes. That would be absolutely awesome. One thing I really noticed this year was, back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers he still got it. But what really stood out to me after a 3-1 start, the Minnesota loss was disgusting. It really was. But ever since I can remember, especially recent years, Green Bay always suffers the first game of the year. I remember that Saints game a few years back where it was 38-7. It was disgusting. Just like the Minnesota game. Fortunately for Green Bay, Minnesota is regressing. Okay, 100%. Most likely. Financially, it's going to be difficult for Minnesota to fix it all and to keep it all afloat in 1 year. Now, long term, that's up for you guys to decide. Chicago. They don't look too bad, but they have nobody on defense. Now, the Detroit Lions, to me, are going to be fighting it out with Green Bay as far as the leaders of the NFC North. And, I do think Minnesota will be in it, and, maybe even Chicago, but every team has issues they need to solve in the NFC North. So, I don't understand why Aaron would look at it and be like, okay, I like playing here. Why would I leave? Now, there are a couple things clear outside of injuries decimated this team last year. There was that 5-game losing streak against the Giants, the Jets, Washington, Buffalo, Detroit. You got a nice win against Dallas, but they lost to Tennessee. Prime time, they lost to Philly. Prime time, and then they ended the year with nice wins over Chicago, the Rams, Miami, a great win over Minnesota, and just a very heart-wrenching loss against the Detroit Lions. There are a couple of moves that the Green Bay Packers are going to need to focus on, to be honest with you, regardless of if Aaron Rodgers comes back. Because the way I see it as a Packers fan is I will 100% in every way, shape, or form take Aaron Rodgers back as my starting quarterback next year. 100%. But if the Packers decide to trade him, which I don't think they will do, unless Rodgers gives the go-ahead. So if Rodgers gives a go-ahead saying trade me, okay, I'm excited for Jordan Love because especially against Philly, I think he really showed me a lot. There was the COVID year, there was the injured preseason, and there was this year, and I really think he's made some great strides in his skill. So either way at the QB spot, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And it's not like it's, Rodgers or bust. The future still looks good to me in Green Bay, and this front office, as far as I'm concerned, I think they've done a phenomenal job in the draft. I think it's been extremely underrated. I'm from Chicago, so I'm not going to hear too much about Packers hype, but I don't see too much Packers draft hype. I think they do a phenomenal job year in and year out, and more specifically recently as far as drafting NFL-ready players. I get it, Quay Walker, tough last game against Detroit. There was also the Buffalo incident, but at the end of the day, Green Bay shouldn't have even been in those situations. The Rasul Douglas also. We shouldn't have been in that situation. So I still think they've done a great job at drafting, but they're going to have to do another great job at drafting. Regardless of who's your starting quarterback, you need a most likely tight end. Now, we'll talk about that because the Packers said on the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers said he wants, on the Pat McAfee show, he wants Mercedes Lewis, Randall Cobb, David Bakhtiari, Aaron Lazard, and Robert Tonyan back. Now, the only guys who are currently under contract for next year is David Bach, right? So 2 of those 5 players are tight ends, Mercedes Lewis and Robert Tonyan. Now, I don't think it's far-fetched that both of those cats return, but regardless of if those 5 players return, if those tight ends return, I do think the Packers should look into a tight end. Now, I've seen a lot of mock drafts where Michael Mayer gets selected at 15. I don't think it's that serious. I wouldn't be all that upset about it, but I would much rather target the safety position, okay? You also could use a pass rusher. So, Green Bay's going to have to get creative. They're going to have to get crafty because there are some veterans that you either need to make decisions on, can we restructure Aaron Jones' contract? If not, do we trade him? I love A.J. Dillon. I absolutely love him. Can we bring back those 5 players I mentioned, right? So there's a lot of questions that need to be solved. And I know this year didn't go as how we planned it, but Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, the defense, Rashawn Gary got injured. There were literally so many injuries this year that everything that happened, I know 8-9 is not good, but I'll take a better draft pick. I'll take a quick offseason retooling, and we'll figure it out from there. So maybe I'm just a biased, overhyped Packers fan, but I really feel like it's not all that dire as a lot of all 31 other teams are making it seem. So let me know what you guys are thinking, because I know a lot of Packers fans are very split on this decision as well. So either way, would love to hear what you guys have to say. But as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you want more Packers videos, let me know down below.